Welcome back to another edition of the Forts Athletics Life and Coaching Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Charles Inferno. We're at Forts Athletics. We equip coaches and athletes with the tools they seek out in order to achieve their unique and specific goals. And we are recording early Tuesday morning, November 8th, 2022. We're like less than a month from our first indoor meet of the season, December 3rd. We have another meet on December 9th, so the season is quickly coming upon us, if you will. And there's not a lot of time left, but all our athletes are looking forward to competing and I guess reaping the rewards of all the hard work and all the time that they've put in this fall so far. As we get closer to our first season, or our first meet rather, not our first season. But what I do want to talk about today, if you happen to listen to the previous episode that we recorded, hence you'll see the same attire here on our way to school, my Mickey Mouse tie. And every time I wear this Mickey Mouse tie, I think of the scene in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, when they go to the house with the tapestries. And the gentleman that answers the castle door says, if this house has tapestries, then I am Mickey Mouse. So if you know, you know. If you don't know, go watch Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Let me know if you find that scene. I think it's I think it's funny. And that's what I think of when I wear this tie. So anyway, today what I want to talk about is coaching and my excitement for coaching, and wanting to share more about what I've learned with coaching and coaching coach-athlete relationships, and coaching coaches up, and trying to figure out how they can best set up their environments to allow for athlete success. Last week, had an opportunity to speak to a couple groups of coaches in our area, varsity coaches of two different schools, and share my research and how coaches can better set up systems to allow their athletes to flourish and grow under their care. The first pillar, or is what I'm referring to our coaching effectiveness pillars, is understanding your coaching philosophy, being able to communicate effectively, being able to share that philosophy with your athletes and why it's important to you. And that communication piece, number 3, how we hold our athletes accountable and how we are able to lay out expectations for them in order to be successful. And 4, maybe the most important, how we actually set up our environment for success. So how do we create a support system for our athletes to achieve their goals? And if you've listened to any of my prior episodes, I relate these pillars to setting up a preschool classroom, preschool setting, where we have new people that have never been in a structured school environment, and we're trying to set up our classroom, and we are trying to be loving and nurturing and caring all the time, because 3 and 4-year-olds need that. They need to be shown that affection in order to make growth and develop into stronger, cognitively stronger SEL individuals that are going to be transitioning to kindergarten in the future. Not all about academics, I'm not going to lie. A lot of SEL components, executive functioning, but now we're getting off into another podcast episode. But anyway, what I wanted to share is that if you're a coach out there and you're interested in learning more about this and you want to hear more about it, I'll have a coaching call with you. Usually one of the conversations that I have with schools is like 30 to 45 minutes, closer to 45 minutes. But if you're interested, you want to send me a DM at Forza Athletics. I'm also there at Twitter, also Forza Athletics. Send me a DM. Let me know if you're interested in learning more about these 4 pillars of effective coaching, and we'll set up a call, free call. First one, always free. to learn more about this stuff and how you can learn more about your own philosophy. Hopefully you have a coaching philosophy. Learn more about what's important to you. And when I say learn more about, I think in our minds we kind of have an idea as individuals, as coaches, of that's what's important to us, like what we feel is important when we coach. But maybe nobody's ever asked us to like verbalize that or put that on paper or be able to share those values. And I think that's really important, because once we're able to establish what our philosophy is and why that is important to us and what we value as a coach, it makes communicating those values so much easier. And we're able to develop expectations for our athletes based on what's important to us, and we're able to verbalize that, right? So if one of your values is communication and honesty, let's say, for example, 2 values, then expectations would be, are you being honest with yourself in practice? Are you being honest with yourself when you're in the weight room? Like, are you completing your workouts? Are you doing all of the things outside of practice that should hopefully allow you to get better at what you want to do, right? Are you honest with yourself? And then with that, and I see how excited I'm getting about this already, and I'm driving in the car. How excited are you? Well, I'm excited. But as a coach or an athlete, then are you being honest with yourself? Like, are you holding yourself accountable to whatever you said you were going to do, and is that working out for you? And if not, for some reason, as coaches, then we can reflect back and try and figure out if we have a system in place, a network, our environment that is going to allow our athletes to succeed, right, and achieve their goals, and how we set up those environments. And sometimes it's physical layout, depending on the sport, depending on the team, depending on the age. But then other things, it's more of interpersonal as coaches, how we engage our athletes, the tone. Are we genuine when we ask questions and communicate with individuals? Are we just there to go through the motions? And depending on the age of the athletes that you're working with, they're able to kind of figure out, what's actually happening here. Much like a 3 and 4 year old will call you out and call your bluff because they know, even though they might not actually know that they know. Much like our college athletes would as well, and others also. So if you're interested in that coaching session, send me a DM on Instagram or Twitter. You can even email me at Forza Athletics. It's FORZATHLETICS@gmail.com. We'll do a free coaching call, 30-45 minutes. Try and figure out what your coaching philosophy is, how we could bring that out, and how we could better communicate that philosophy to your athletes. That's going to help set up effective expectations and hold your athletes accountable to what they want to do within that nurturing and caring environment that you set up for yourself and your team. So let me know. Send a DM if you're interested in a call. We'll set that up, and we'll see what happens. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of the Forza Athletics Life and Coaching Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Charles Inferna. Have a great day.